In almost every video that I have done with regards to stolen rare coins, such as the one you see pictured before you now, or precious metals, involves people theorizing that it very well could be an inside job. And I think that very well could be the case with this story that I'm about to share with you now. And I have a conspiracy theory, and I'm going to share that with you as well with regards to this story. So let's explore. Indeed, I have a playlist I encourage you to check out called Precious Metals Crimes. You'd be amazed to see what people get away with and who may have gotten caught with regards to stealing precious metals or rare coins. In this case, it's a combination of both. And this silver coin that likely could have been an example, perhaps, that was in this person's collection. We're going to be referencing a story here from the New York Post, as shared with me by one Doctor Who. So if you enjoy stories like this, I hope you will consider pressing that thumbs up button down below and subscribing to the channel, and let me know what you think about this story. In fact, if you think it's an inside job, let me know in the comment section down below. So here we have the headline: a rare coin dealer's $100,000 collection looted at a New York City convention. And more stolen, really is a more proper word here, but a rare coin dealer from California reported being robbed of $100,000 in inventory at a convention in the Big Apple earlier this month, the Post has learned. Of course, it's incorrect. If we was to read later in the story, it was not a robbery at all. A robbery involves holding somebody up or taking something from someone's person or under the watchful eye of said person that has the custody or the sphere of influence of the items and goods from which they have been stolen under their care. This is not what happened. The 67-year-old man from Palo Alto told cops his valuable coins were swiped from his booth at the New York International Numismatic Convention, which ran from January 12th to the 15th at the Intercontinental New York Barclay Hotel in Midtown. And I have a conspiracy theory on who may have done it. Stay tuned in the video to find out who that could be. The dealer set up his booth on January the 12th and took steps to keep it safe. And wait for it, including putting chairs on top of the table. Boy, that's going to do it. Yes, indeed, that's going to keep it definitely well guarded and safe to have chairs on top of the table. This is before he left at around 7 p.m. that day, according to the report he filed with the New York Police Department. But when he came back around noon the next day, the chairs had been taken down. Well, imagine that, somebody lifting a chair from on top of the table, and not being diverted in any way, shape, or form from the said chairs, and the showcase was on the floor, with the valuables gone, the dealer told cops. Surveillance video obtained by investigators showed a man taking the approximately $100,000 in coins and putting them in a roller bag and then leaving, according to cops and sources. I guess he felt it was in a hotel, so it was secure, a police source said. Obviously, someone took it anyway. And in fact, here you can see a picture of the hotel. The New York International Numismatic Convention was held at the Intercontinental New York Barclay Hotel. Now, according to this picture, it looks like a pretty small space. Not a lot of space there, but certainly if there's high dollar coins and valuables there, it would seem to be fairly easy to guard. In fact, I've been to coin shows, large and small, and there's security around. Now, likely the security is not going to catch everything, but there's surveillance and there's cameras. There you can probably see one right there in this picture here. The coin dealer bills his business as a leading buyer and seller of world, ancient, and Mexican and Latin American coins and currency. Paul Russell, New York International Numismatic Convention chairman, disputed the timeline, or what they say covered his rear end, CYR, cover your rear end, saying that the dealer left at around 6:35 or 6:40 before the show closed for the day. And the coins were stolen while the public was there, so in plain sight. But you know what? It almost seems impossible, given the size of the room here. If this is an example of one of the rooms, if there were several, it looks like a pretty small space. In fact, that's smaller than some of the smallest coin shows I've been in. That's this if it's based off of the size of this room, unless it's a long, narrow room or whatever, or it could just be a small corner of a much larger space still. If there's a lot of dealers out there, you would have security to look and measure and see. Likely people saw him leave that were close by, because these dealers are close to each other. And likely they would have seen somebody come by there that didn't look familiar, taking those coins away. Just seemed very strange. He left a little bit early. Russell told the Post on Monday, "We were still open for business. We had the general public on the convention grounds." The victim runs a business based in Arizona that bills itself as a leading buyer and seller of these coins, as I mentioned earlier. So there's no immediate arrest. Well, I mean, arrest is either made or not. So there's no immediate arrest. That means there's no arrest. So I'm thinking it possibly could be an inside job. Security would have certainly have noticed somebody taking chairs down from from somebody who has already left, of some man or some individual that came in there and took the coins out. So it's very interesting. You would think they would recognize it, because the surveillance video would show the person and likely have a good view of the face of the individual. It just seems very lax in their security there. It almost seems impossible, unless it was an inside job, and it very well could have been that the actual the owner himself could have done this. I mean, I'm not accusing. By some chance, the owner or the victim watches this video. It just seems so strange. If they had another person there, the other person took them, his partner or whatever, to write off for insurance or what have you, but that would be awful brazen. And likely that's probably not it, but really what it could have been, security themselves may have done this. And who knows? I don't know, but it's very strange. If this was done on January the 12th, and they have the surveillance video, and by now it's not been discovered who that individual is, it just leaves you to wonder. Again, security at coin shows is fairly tight, and something as brazen as this to be actually clean off a whole table is highly unlikely without arousing suspicion from somewhere. It just seems very, very strange. So this is why I would say it would seem pretty impossible to do a heist this big in a busy convention floor, especially if it's a relatively small space. And this picture here looks like it's a separate little area. I don't know. There's not a whole lot here. I don't know what this picture is really displaying, or what this is meaning to convene here. These people's faces are blotched out for some reason. But nonetheless, fascinating indeed. And again, I'm not saying that some theft can occur at coin shows with security around, but it would be very difficult, I think, for people to get away with something this big and brazen, unless they have some sort of mask. And of course, in the age of now that we live in, a mask is likely what they probably would have had on. But you can see from this photo, at least if it's a current photo, it is not, no one's wearing a mask. So that would, well, except for this guy right back here, he's wearing a mask. So likely the person probably was wearing a mask, which might make it a little bit difficult to identify. But still, very, very strange indeed. Now, I have a conspiracy theory that very well could have led to this. We just found out that Carol Baskins from Tiger King, her dead husband is actually alive, living in Costa Rica or somewhere. That's according to the government. Homeland Security has discovered that her husband is still alive. Don Lewis is his name. and likely he probably flew back in for this coin show, ran out of money, and swiped these coins and went away. So, leave it up to the government for incompetence to find out that a guy who was assumably dead since 1997 or something like that, only to be found alive in 2022 or 23 or what have you, or 2020. I don't know when it was, 2021. I didn't read it all, but pretty funny. So never underestimate, especially with regards to the feds, for somebody who was thought to be dead to be found alive many, many, many years later in a country where it's not that easy to hide, or not that, but it's not that hard to find people, I would guess. But nonetheless, there it is. Fascinating indeed. Let me know what your thoughts are on this story. Thanks again to Dr. Who for sharing it with me. Do you think it's an inside job? Do you think it's an impossible situation or near impossible situation to steal that much silver and precious metals and rare coins? I don't know. Would love to know. I'd like to extend a multitude of gratitude to all of you for taking the time to watch this video, and to encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe.